Gavin Newsom just did this.
Right now, Governor Newsom has several gun safety bills on his desk, and within just the last 60 minutes, he signed a law that will double taxes on gun and ammunition sales. The federal government already taxes the sale of guns and ammunition at either 10 or 11%, depending on the type of gun. The law signed today will add another 11% on top of that.
It's a pretty sick thing that we can just casually say it, and we do casually say that the number one killer of our kids is guns, and it's sort of just accepted, and not everybody's sort of stopping, saying, well, hold on, can you repeat that? Or wait a second, what more can I don't want to talk about anything else. We need to solve for that. That it's just somehow so normalized. It's a profound moment. And so I am grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for the many moments that we've had on this stage together in terms of advancing gun safety. But I'm looking forward to raising the bar of expectation and performance.
The law will take effect on July 1st of 2024. Newsom also signed laws to overhaul the state's rules for carrying concealed weapons and require semi-automatic pistols to have micro-stamping technology.
Who do they think this is going to hurt? Because it's not going to hurt the criminals. It's not going to hurt the rich and the wealthy. It's going to hurt the poor. It's going to hurt the people in the middle. It's going to hurt the people who don't make that much money. Do you know what a 20% tax on a firearm does to people's ability to buy a firearm? It's insane. So if I buy a gun for $500 and I have a 20% tax, I'm looking at $200. I'm looking at additional $100 on a $500 gun. That's crazy. They're literally pricing people out of the Second Amendment. How is that not a ban? How is that not a constructive ban? You're making guns so expensive that people can't afford to buy them while being able to say on paper you have a Second Amendment right. What happened to the reasonableness? What is reasonable about charging people 20% tax on a firearm that they buy to protect their life? What is reasonable about that? Nothing is reasonable about that. And then the crazy thing is he's saying that the revenue from the tax is going to go to other gun safety programs, which we all know is more gun control. So you're funding the stripping of your rights. You're going to pay a tax to buy the firearm. Then that money is going to go towards coming up with more gun control laws to further restrict your rights. What's to stop him from doing a 30% tax? Nothing. What? Literally nothing. And then this statement that guns are the number one killer of kids in this country is not true. But they say it over and over again because it is their talking point. They know when you say anything about kids, it puts you in your rational mind. Automatically, you're going to agree to do whatever they say that you need to do, even if it's not true. How is an 11% tax on a gun going to protect a kid? Other than making it so arduous and hard to own the firearm that you don't have one. That's essentially what he's saying. The way that we're going to keep you safe is to take away your ability to afford to buy a gun. That is exactly what this is. And I don't understand how you can possibly call that gun safety. Gun safety? You're taxing the people who are buying guns legally. The tax only works if you obey the law and buy the gun legally. Criminals don't buy guns legally. They break the law to acquire their firearms. So you're punishing law-abiding citizens for the acts of criminals and not punishing the criminals at all. But that's kind of par for the course. As you can see in California, criminals are pretty much running rampant. As far as I'm concerned, California is a failed state. Gavin Newsom knows that his policies have run California into the ground. California is a shell of itself. It's run by criminals. That's essentially what it is. It's run by criminals, literally and figuratively. So he's attacking your right to draw attention away from his failed policies. California has the strictest forms of gun control in the country. The most, that's without question, the most strict. And yet they still push more and more and more and more. And trust me, this man is going to try to run for president. So if you think this is not going to be attempted on a federal level and it can't happen to you because you're in a red state, don't fool yourself. They never will stop trying to do this. You can see that. Look at how they reacted when the Supreme Court literally told them. All the Supreme Court said was, yo, you can't just have a subjective standard to determine whether or not you give somebody a concealed carry permit. It needs to be objective. It needs to be constitutional. This is unconstitutional. Come up with a constitutional way for people to be able to carry firearms in your state. That's all it did. And they went crazy. They're losing it because they don't want you to have guns. There's no such thing as reasonable gun measures. There is no such thing. That's why that conversation is dead. Because as you can see here, if it was about reasonable gun measures, you wouldn't be punishing law-abiding citizens for buying firearms to protect themselves. And that's what I mean when I say defund gun control. Defund gun control is just that. Get the money out of gun control. Now, I can't do anything about billionaires who decide to start up anti-gun groups, but you can do something about not voting for gun control, especially gun control that taxes you to put money in their coffers to push more gun control. There's a lot of money behind gun control, and you're funding it. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.